At the very start of the series, it is revealed that Gold D. Roger, King of the Pirates, was up to be executed, and he had told the world that, "You want my riches? You can have them! I left everything I gathered in one place!" I don't think Roger was lying about what he had said. He had left everything in one place. But is that what the One Piece is? At this moment in time, it is part of it, but that wasn't originally what the One Piece was. Allow me to further explain. Two of Roger's most important assets, the Oro Jackson and his trusty sword, Ace, are nowhere to be found in the current point of the story. Ace is a supreme grade blade that I doubt has just magically gone missing. And the Oro Jackson, well, I have some pretty interesting evidence about why that could be important, but that has to lead into Chapter 2. But let me continue explaining Chapter 1. So, we flash back. Before the story really takes place, we flash back to a young Shanks and a young Buggy. A young Shanks tells Buggy that he has no desire for the One Piece. So, let me explain why this is, and now currently, in the point of the story where we're at, as of making this video, he has done a 360 and says, it is time to go get the One Piece. Let me explain why this is important. So, there is a scene of Gold Roger telling Shanks something that is completely omitted, and I want to shed some light on that omitted detail, and that brings light to why Shanks has changed his tune now, and it'll bring everything together. Oda is a master of bringing everything full circle. So, Shanks, the reason Shanks is going after the One Piece now is because the One Piece isn't just something any normal person can obtain, leading into Chapter 2. Chapter 2. So, it is revealed in Water 7 that Frankie burns the blueprints to Pluton. So, that raises the question, for a weapon that is so avidly mentioned, do you think it won't show up in a story like One Piece? I don't think so. You remember the shipwright who built the Oro Jackson, Tom, was executed for doing so, and that isn't likely just because it was the Pirate King's vessel. It potentially was a reimagination of what Pluton was meant to be. That, at this point, is just a theory, but I doubt the world government would execute a man for just building a ship, if that ship wasn't extraordinarily dangerous. And another thing that needs to be mentioned is Ace's sword is also currently missing. Not Ace's sword, Goldie Roger's sword. A supreme grade blade like Yoru. Mihawk's Yoru. The sword that is permanently black. God, Zoro would love it. Anyhow, finally that leads into Chapter 3. What is the One Piece? And now let's go over all current evidence that suggests the One Piece, this entire time, was meant for Luffy. Allow me to explain. So, when the Roger Pirates had originally arrived at Laugh Tale, the first pirates to ever arrive at that island, since the Void Century, they had laughed once they had arrived to that island without much of an explanation. So, it is explained during Sabaody by Silver's King Rayleigh that they had learned everything that happened in the Void Century, but as things currently stand, there is nothing we can do about that now. Suggesting that at some point in time, there is something that could have been done about what happened during the Void Century, but it wasn't really explained. So, now that we have more knowledge on the fruit that Luffy himself actually ate, it makes a lot more sense as to what the One Piece itself is. The One Piece isn't Goldie Roger's treasure. That's just an extra. The One Piece is information for the Devil Fruit user who is meant to become the Warrior of Liberation, aka Luffy. This also explains why Shanks has had a sudden change of tune, because the only person who can use the weapon found on Laugh-Tale is Luffy. And the final piece of evidence that suggests that this theory is true is all of the depictions of the Warrior of Liberation, Nika, have been interestingly depicted with a sword and a spear. Weapons Luffy has yet to use. There is a scene in Wano where Luffy does use a sword, which could be foreshadowing for Luffy getting his own weapons eventually and awakening and understanding his fruit, but that remains to be seen. But if you ended up watching all the way to the end of the video, thank you. I really appreciate you watching the video. If you want me to do more little nerdy rants like this, comment down below. If you have anything to add on, I read all the comments. I love you all. Have a nice day. Bye-bye!